What's up, developers? Welcome to Talking AI, where we break down the AI news that actually affects your code, your wallet, and your weekend plans. Here's something I didn't have on my 2025 bingo card. Google's AI just became the world's first digital bouncer, kicking hackers out before they even got to the door. And honestly, it's about time someone did something useful with AI instead of just making chatbots that hallucinate your grocery list. So Google's Big Sleep AI agent, yes, that's what they actually named it, just discovered and stopped a critical SQLite vulnerability that hackers were literally preparing to exploit. We're talking CVE 2025-6965, a memory corruption flaw with a CVSS score of 7.2 that could let attackers cause integer overflows and read memory they definitely shouldn't be reading. But here's the kicker, this wasn't just any vulnerability discovery. Google's threat intelligence team caught wind that bad actors were staging something big, but they couldn't figure out exactly what vulnerability they were targeting. So they handed off these cryptic breadcrumbs to Big Sleep, and this AI essentially played cybersecurity detective and found the exact flaw the hackers were planning to weaponize. Think about that for a second. This is like your security guard not just catching someone breaking into your building, but actually figuring out which specific lock they were planning to pick next week based on the suspicious way they looked at your front door. Now, before you panic about AI taking over cybersecurity jobs, let's talk about what this actually means. Big Sleep is a collaboration between Google DeepMind and Google Project Zero. Basically, Google's vulnerability research team got tired of playing whack-a-mole with security flaws and decided to build a robot that's really good at reading code and finding the scary parts. The SQLite vulnerability they found affects versions before 350.2, which means if you're using SQLite in your projects, and let's be honest, who isn't, you probably want to check your version numbers right about now. This flaw could let attackers manipulate SQL statements to trigger memory corruption, which in developer terms means your app could crash in very creative and exploitable ways. For developers, this means we might actually be entering an era where the good guys can find vulnerabilities faster than the bad guys can exploit them. It's like having a code reviewer that never gets tired, never misses obvious bugs, and doesn't passive-aggressively comment about your variable naming conventions. Here's what makes this genuinely impressive. Big Sleep didn't just randomly stumble across this bug. Google's threat intelligence team observed limited indicators that suggested threat actors were preparing a zero-day exploit, but they couldn't identify which specific vulnerability was being targeted. They basically had intelligence saying someone's about to do something bad with SQLite, but not much else. Big Sleep took those hints and went hunting through SQLite's codebase until it found the exact memory corruption flaw that would allow attackers to exceed the number of aggregate terms beyond available columns. Translation, it found the needle in the haystack that hackers were planning to use to break things. Plot twist. This is apparently the first time an AI agent has directly prevented a cyber attack in the wild. Not detected after the fact, not helped clean up the mess, actually prevented it from happening. We've officially entered the AI versus AI phase of cybersecurity, where your weekend debugging sessions might soon include collaborating with robots to find vulnerabilities before the other robots find them. And for the open source crowd, Big Sleep isn't just protecting Google's products. They're using it to improve security across widely used open source projects like SQLite, which means your favorite database engine is getting AI-powered security audits, whether you asked for it or not. What this actually means for developers. First, go check if you're running SQLite 350.2 or later. Second, this might be the beginning of AI-powered vulnerability discovery becoming standard practice, which could mean faster patch cycles and more frequent security updates in your favorite dependencies. The reality? We're probably looking at a future where AI finds bugs faster than human developers can fix them, which sounds great until you realize your API costs probably aren't going down anytime soon. And your to-do list is about to get a lot longer. That's the TLDR on Google's Big Sleep turning into the cybersecurity equivalent of Minority Report. If this saved you from reading 47 blog posts about AI revolutionizing security, hit subscribe. And if you're currently running SQLite in production, maybe take a coffee break to check your version numbers. Your future self will thank you.